They said that pricing was up to ASUS?
Yep.
That's what they said. Yep. There's an
They
article.
straight up fucking threw him under the fucking bus.
Yep.
That happened earlier.
Yep. I got the link.
Which is
I
fucking wild. Like,
And
I'll probably say it again later, but like,
is it?
Ayo Yokoso, which means welcome. I'm so glad you're here because the Xbox Ally, I'm sorry, I got that name wrong, right? Xbox Ally X, both of them have launched now, and I've got our expert panelists here to decide whether it's worth it and it meets our expectations. So, panelists, what do we think? Is it worth our money? Oh, I'm sorry, I should have went backwards. Let's do a little rewind thing and let you introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Clef.
Hey, I'm Nelly.
Hey, it's Zach.
So, I was told that I was getting better at this, but then I realized it's probably just the AI glazing me. I should probably, reread that stuff that it writes for these scripts. So when I'm asking you whether or not it's worth it, we've talked previously on our other episodes of Speedcast, which I highly encourage those of you who haven't seen it before or are just tuning in to go and check it out, because some of these things we will be rehashing or reiterating, but we're talking mostly about the launch here and what the expectations are, and mostly how I would even argue it's kind of divisive. We have some people who are really on board with it for one reason or another, and then we have others who are thinking, oh, this is so greedy or what have you. Since we have some panelists here who have had hands-on with the devices, what do you think? Can I go to you first, Nelly? What's your thought?
Sure. So I think, like, is it worth it? I mean, if you have an Xbox Ally X, you might be like, yeah, this is a great device. It's $100 more than what I would have paid for an Xbox, or not an Xbox, for an Ally X. Oh, this is going to be so confusing. Okay. It's $100 more than you would have paid for a regular Ally X back when it was released, because that's how much it was, at least Canadian. It was $100 difference from what I paid for that unit to what it is on this unit. So when I look at that, I'm like, that's actually not that much more. But if you already have an Ally X, there's no reason to upgrade to this, in my opinion. I don't think it's worth the upgrade for the performance bump that you get. You'd be better off, if you really wanted a little bit of a boost, just put Bazite or put SteamOS on your Ally X. And if you haven't seen it, I have a short that I dropped the other day that has SteamOS working with an eGPU. So if you were concerned about that, now you can actually use an eGPU with SteamOS on the Ally X. So you can have the best of both worlds. And yeah, this doesn't work with every eGPU. It does with the AMD ones, and there might be some tweaks and stuff there, but you can still do things with the Ally X to make it better now than, paying a whole new price point for extra grips, like a little bit better of a chip. I don't know.
I think that's fairly stated, especially the point where the naming is going to get really confusing. But let me go to Clef now, because the next name has got to be Xbox Ally One, or is it 360 next? What's your take?
I don't know, and I don't know that I care about all those names. They're so confusing. And by the way, you said Xbox Ally X at the beginning. It's ROG Xbox Ally.
Yes,
but
and
see,
and that's going to be important later. Yes, go ahead.
Yep. So I can't help but think it is such a divisive device, and rightfully so, because to Nelly's points, if you already have an Ally X, or dare I say, if you already have a PC handheld that is anywhere between a 7840U, 8840U, HX370, or even 155H, or 255H, 258V, that goes without saying, it's hard to justify. Like, if you have a Steam Deck, if you have a 6800U, I can see where there's value, there's appeal, but at the end of the day, there's so much to like. But at the same time, for, I would assume, a huge potential crowd that they have in terms of potential sales, it's so FOMO based, so FOMO based. And if you don't drink the Kool-Aid, there's really many reasons not to get it. And a lot of things, tinfoil hat, that I hope we'll get into this episode, at least in my point, from my perspective. But yeah, I mean, as someone that has it right next to me, it's pleasant to hold. I see the benefit, I see the advantage. And we were chatting before starting the episode, and Stern dropped a fact that I agree with. If you think HX370-ish, it's still one of the least expensive devices, but it was always very obvious that the HX370 is not necessarily worth upgrading unless you're going for other things around it that makes it valuable for you. Anyways, oh, you're muted.
Gee, I don't know how you got muted, but it happened.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I muted myself. That was what, or maybe it was
Oh.
Microsoft muting me. Thanks, Phil. Yeah, I think that's a great point, Clef. And I think what you were alluding to was what you've talked about many times before about like, mainline drivers and stuff like that. And I think that that's something that we encourage our viewers to go and check out in previous episodes we've talked about too. So what about you, Zach? Like, do you think this is worth it? Just like maybe kind of outside looking in like I am?
So, I mean, just to kind of piggyback off of Nelly and Clef, like, it's not so much about whether or not it's worth it as it is whether or not it's worth it to you, or, you being whoever's watching, right? I mean, if you got a Steam Deck, yeah, maybe you're thinking about it. I think anybody Z1, and above, like, if you got $1,000 burning a hole in your pocket, sure. But, there's also, well, there was, I think it's now out of stock again, the Claw. But, I mean, it's not the easiest question to answer, but if you got the money, fine. You want to spend it? Fine. It's your money. For me personally, with my Legion Go Z1E, I'm not in a mood to upgrade to at least that. I'm looking at, Win 5, 1X player, Apex, whatever INEO's doing, with, an AI Max chip, not just a bend, cut down HX370.
I think that's an extremely valid point in the context of spending $1,000 or so, give or take. But I do want to like reframe this for everybody watching as well, because the Xbox Ally X and the Xbox Ally Non-X, there's two SKUs, right? And so people might be just walking into a Walmart, so to speak, and be wondering, well, there's a new Xbox, it's $600. Like, should I buy this? So my question to you now is whether your opinions have changed or not, like pre-launch, so in our previous episodes and now.
No,
what's your thing?
So,
don't buy it. Don't buy the white. Just don't do it.
I guess expand off of that opinion. Yeah, don't, like, they should have went the Portal route, especially like if you're going to put it in Walmart. That should have went PlayStation Portal route. Like, it's locked in with your Xbox. It's an accessory. Make it
so an Xbox Cloud, essentially. What you're saying.
Like basically the Portal, but it's their like, because that's what somebody's going to think if, without having all the extra knowledge, like
it's like you could make it like a Chromebook. That's
some
like
dude
cloud.
walking down the street's going to think that it's like a Portal, and it's not.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity, I guess, right? Yeah. So has your opinion changed about the $1,000 SKU though, like from pre-launch to post-launch?
I mean, not for me personally, but I mean, in general speaking, like, like I said, like if you're actually looking for something, around that range, yeah, sure. And you don't want to jump up to $15, $16, $18, $2,000 for an AI Max, sure. Either this or, like I said, the Claw, but it just recently went out of stock last I checked. So you're back to this being the only $1,000-ish player in the game, unless you buy a used HX370 something.
I see. So so basically you're saying there are no more base model cars for you to buy. You got to buy, the tier up, essentially.
Yeah, you got to get the premium plus.
You got to get those heated seats that, you got to pay for an extra subscription for anyway. Clef, what were you thinking?
I think I got the perfect analogy for this. I really think I do. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree with me. You know how you've been buying iPhones or Galaxy phones? It doesn't matter which. Okay, that's not the battle here. Let's say you've been buying iPhones for the last 6 years, and the new iPhone came out, and Apple is hyping you hard, and you buy it, and you open it, and after like an hour, you're like, well, yeah, it's just another iPhone. There's nothing really that stands out because they've been good for so long, and like the improvements from one generation to the next is so minimal that at the end of the day, it's not that big a deal. Well, that's the Xbox Rogue, the Rogue Xbox Ally X. That's exactly it. Like, if you've had one of those devices and you pick it up, unfortunately, there are many things about the Xbox Ally X that just falls flat. It's the same panel. It looks the same. Even the body of it, like the overall experience. And yes, Xbox full screen, which I'm sure we'll get into that, helps in some capacity. But at the same time, all these things that I'm here saying, yeah, it's a little underwhelming. If you didn't have a PC handheld to compare this to, just like if you're going from iPhone to Android or vice versa, then you find a lot more to, to enjoy and appreciate, because you're dialing, you're going into that new ecosystem, understanding things that you just weren't able to do before. So if it's your first PC handheld, you're watching those videos about people saying, yeah, it's, and you're like, what are you talking about? And I get it, because your perspective is as such. But for someone who's been in the space, someone who had another PC handheld, it's just the flavor of the week. Unfortunately, I feel like, as much as I am happy to, grab my pitchfork and go at Lenovo's HQ and be like, drop the price of the Go-To, I do feel like if I was to buy the Go-To, I probably would have a more impactful out of the box experience, because of all the things that it does to stand out versus the previous SKU. And the Xbox Ally X simply does not do that. But at the same time, it's also not twice the price versus the previous SKU. So,
yeah, it's like $100 difference. Like it's not much.
So what I'm hearing, Clef, is they're not doing enough to penetrate the market. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Well, we have
what?
We have to go to Nelly then, because like, are these holes big enough? Is it enough RAM? Like.
Okay, when I took this thing apart and I took out that back, I was like, wow, look at all this space. Like, look at all this room I have in this thing. And actually, I was very impressed with that. And it's because the controllers are off to the side. They're in their own little area. There's nothing overlapping on the board. And there's just more room back there. And so when I was able to put an actual full heatsink, and I actually did order, like, I grabbed whatever was on hand. But now I actually have like a full enclosed, like top to bottom heatsink on there. You can put a PlayStation 5 heatsink on there. Like, it is so cool that you can have all that space in there. When we went from having the original Ally with that short little spot and weird adapters, and like, it was just nice to see all that space in there to be able to, upgrade it properly, to put that heatsink cooling in there. Like, I was really excited about how much space there was. And somebody asked like, oh, can you put like an air tag back there? Like, you probably could. There's lots of space back there. So if you feel like your device is going to get stolen, I suppose you could dabble into that. But like, there is actually a lot of space. And if you bought the white one, this is definitely worth the upgrade to the black one. So don't go return that white one. And actually, it's interesting because the two people that I talked to that bought one that day, one, the frame was cracked, and the other one, the button was sticking. I'm like, what's going on with these white ones? Where's the quality control on them? And then I look at like Best Buy, and I'm like, okay, everywhere is sold out of the black one. You can ship it in 2 days if you want it delivered. But then the white one, it's like in stock at every single store. I'm like, that all tracks. So like, don't let that little like, oh, look at this Xbox handheld get you, because it's a trap. It's a trap. So just don't do it. But I mean, it's a cool device. Like, it is a cool device. And if you were just getting into the market and you wanted something that's just a little more user friendly, like, yeah, this might be worth it. But if you already have something that's like Z1 or higher, don't get it. Like, just wait. You can do different upgrades to your devices and make it better. Bigger battery on the original Z1E ROG Ally.
Right.
The white one preys on the uneducated. That's
absolutely. It's like, I feel bad about, like, honestly, I feel bad for anybody that's buying it. I should almost go to a store and be like, no, put it back.
They're like,
get that out
ooh,
of
shiny.
Here.
Ooh,
You don't want that one.
Any of you, that totally reminds me. Any of you ever watch Parks and Rec?
Yep.
Yes.
That reminds me of like Ron Swanson and like the the fake turkey or whatever, and it's like,
another, please.
Sir, is there a problem?
I'm just making sure no one ever has to eat this.
and he just throws it in trash.
Turkey
That's what that
bacon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
keep going.
that's what that reminds me of.
Mhm.
So yeah, let's talk, the business end of the Xbox allies, and that's not the handles actually for once. It's supposed to be this full screen experience, right? We've touched on it previously before, but we've not really gone in depth with it. So does this save Windows handhelds? Like, I'll let you take the floor. You can be as outrageous or as gentle as you'd like to be to Microsoft and
Wait,
Phil.
so well, you got me confused here. We're not talking about handles. We're talking about full screen experience.
We're talking about full screen experience. Well, you know
Uh,
what? Let me elaborate on that point a little bit more since I'm the one introducing this topic. I went about this roundabout way, which you can find online, about installing it on my Windows laptop. Now the laptop I have is a Lenovo Yoga Book, which has the dual OLEDs. So of course the full screen experience, it doesn't work with two screens, right? It's going to black one of the screens out. But for me, one of the big issues was the fact that I had to restart every time I wanted to get like the benefits of what I'm assuming turning off all the telemetry and data harvesting stuff that Microsoft is doing in the background. And if I enter desktop mode, like I can go back into full screen experience, but then all that telemetry is still already loaded in the background. I have to restart again in order to get those benefits. So for that alone, to me, I feel like that's a big miss. Like I know that they have, kernel level access. They could have made it better than this. And yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts so far with full screen experience? Either what you've seen or what you've experienced yourself.
So one thing, and hopefully I won't, irritate anyone saying that, but I feel like there's a lot of mixed opinions out there, and one of the opinions I've seen is, oh, Xbox Ally X feels better than when I installed it on my Ally X. For me, it's pretty much like I don't know. Maybe I haven't stumbled on those situations that highlights a difference, but for me, no, it's the same experience. Does it make it better? Again, it's one of those situations where for the educated, quote unquote, there's still a convenience aspect, and I don't think there's a scenario where I would not be happy with Microsoft at least moving in that direction. I still think it's not exactly what I would want it to be, what I would need it to be at this point in time, but I still appreciate that there's an effort there. So there's no negative in that aspect, but at the same time, I think this is something that is ultimately better tailored for someone that is just not well versed with how to navigate Windows, how to make it your type of experience. Because if truly you do that, there are better UIs, there are better experiences. Mind you, you'll still have to have that telemetry to work with, but that's also not where it shines. You know what I mean? Like, so it's good. I like where they're going. I just hope that they don't sit on that and be like, well, job done. There definitely needs more work to be done for that to hold as much value as it potentially can have. It still holds a little day one, but there are ways to go, is my take.
I think that's a very fair point. Perhaps I was being kind of unfair, except they still don't have Auto SR, which was promised when we got the Windows ARM chip. So yeah, maybe expectations were too high, and maybe they weren't, and it still wasn't enough. But Nelly, what do you think? Is Xbox full screen kind of what you expected, or
It's not what I expected. I guess is like a shorter answer, but is it an improvement or a step in the right direction? I think it is a step in the right direction. My issues with it is more like, okay, I've downloaded, the Crunchyroll app. I've downloaded the Discord app. Why can't I get those apps over on the full screen experience? Why is it that I have to go over to the desktop to use those? Like, I can't use Discord right now in the full screen experience. I can use Xbox Game Chat, or you can use like the Steam chats and the other you can use Battle.net, you can use Epic. Like there's all those stores that you can add there, but they don't have the ability to just like let me add other stuff. Like why can't I watch a show on an app while I'm in full screen experience? Why can't like, you know what I mean? Like just double or not double press, but like you hold the button and those screens pop up. Why can't I just shift over to my screen where I have a show running and just watch something for a sec? Okay, now flip back over to that other screen. Now I'm back into my game. Like, why can't I do that? even like picture in picture would be kind of cool if they had that in there, that you could just like watch your app while you're playing your game in the corner. Like those kinds of things would be really neat features for this. The other thing is like Armoury Crate in there and the Xbox full screen experience. It's like it is like a conflict almost. Like you push one button and it's like gives you all these things. You push another button and it gives you, you know, power off, and it gives you like similar things. And you're like, well, which one do I use? What like it's like a little bit weird in there. And it's like, can't you guys just like integrate them so that they're just like one thing, or make a decision, like either go one way or another? Like it's just weird that they're both in there, like conflicting almost with each other. It's like, okay, I'll use the volume on the Armory Crate bar, and then no, I'll flip over to the Xbox one, and I'll use the volume on that one. And it's like, I don't know, it's two buttons, but one pulls up literally a shift over on the screen. But like, I'd rather map that to a different button. Like, let me use that button for something else then. And then there's this library button, this stupid library button that you cannot remap. And every time I'm in a flipping game, I push that instead of this, like the start button underneath, and then it brings me to the library, and then I'm like, oh my god, my game. And then I'm like in a mad panic dash to try to like get back into my game, and I can't change the button. I can't remap that button. Why can't I remap that button? I don't understand. But Clef, you know, it's real.
That's Legion Go 1 PTSD. Now ASUS took it upon themselves to bring it back.
That library button is next level angry. Like,
agreed.
I'm like, can I just rip this button out?
Just so we're clear, I just want you to know that I'm with you, because I do the exact same thing every time I go to push start. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's the button. Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yep.
It's the worst.
Obviously, I've not experienced this firsthand, but what I can say is I think we need a shirt that says no library buttons, right? Is that what we need? Yeah.
Honestly, I'm ready to rip this thing apart to take that button off. Like,
it's your torch and pitchforks.
Yep. Well, what about you, Zach? You think from what you've seen, has Xbox full screen met expectations? Is it pitchfork time? Like, what do you think?
I mean, I obviously haven't had enough personal experience like Nelly, so I don't have a crash out to have here, but yeah, I mean, that was one thing I noticed. Those button the placement's terrible on this device. Like, they definitely, there should have been some segregation at least, like, because I've heard it both ways. Like, from what I've seen, with the exception of Copilot being shoehorned into it, the new game bar, or I mean, I don't even know what they're calling it, but basically the Armory Crate Xbox version, when you hit the Xbox button, look honestly better to me than the like little side, the command center. You know, it looked better to me, easier to navigate, kind of a little more streamlined than the command center was. But and then I guess all that telemetry, blah blah blah, background processes crap, like, it's not enough to, you know, like, if it's not going to work here, it's not going to work here either. Like, the target's way up here, right? So, I mean, it's not a end all be all saving grace by any means. And to your point with the restart thing, I don't know if that applies to the LIX as well, or if it's just like any weird thing you try to put it on. So
when you go into
what I've noticed
screen,
with like, you know, SteamOS, Bazite, whichever, which I don't know if that's what they're actually doing in the background, but like when you switch from game mode to desktop, it almost feels like you're restarting without so much as doing that. You know, like you get your little loading screen like, oh, hey, we're going to load game mode now. Oh, hey, we're going to load desktop mode now, which I don't know if that's what it's doing, but I mean, it would be that simple, right? Like, make it a restart screen, you know, in Windows or whatever, but with the cover of, oh, hey, we're just going to switch over to this mode, you know, whatever, something like that, I think would be just such an easy fix. And I mean, that's software level. So,
and that's kind of what I was alluding to. Yeah. Nelly, thank you for confirming. You said that you do have to restart, right?
You do have to restart, and then it almost like minimizes the full screen experience. So like that's why you can go back to it as like a minimized window. but it recommends you to restart
Yeah.
instead. So like Zach's saying, it would be better if it just like did that little
Yeah.
reload. But what I forgot to mention this too, when you go into like exit full screen experience and go into the desktop, there's a neat little button to get into it. So it's like super easy to do. When you hold the button and all the windows pop up, there's a little like tucked away button. But if you install any apps or anything like that, it automatically sets it to like start with desktop. So if you don't change those settings, like you get bombarded. It's like store open, store open, store open, store open, store open. It's like insane when you switch over to the desktop mode, unless you go and like shut off all those
Right.
things from starting. And you're like, I just had them open in full screen. Why are they opening up again like crazy in the desktop? But
Yeah.
anyways.
And that really just seems like just bad software scheduling management. I mean, to Zach's point, I mean, to me, when I experienced it, again on my laptop, I know this is not exactly the intended use case or purpose, but the thing was, my computer did have to go through like a full reset cycle, which for Windows laptops, it's not faster than like a Steam Deck, right? I'm not saying it's like really slow, because in that case, I don't know, maybe you have like an old HDD as your drive or something like that. I don't know, but the point that like I'm trying to make in terms of like things that being kind of disappointment is the need for that restart when you re-enter the full screen mode. Like, why couldn't they just kill all the processes and then like launch the full screen mode? I mean, because to Nellie's point, they're doing the reverse, right? When you exit full screen mode, then they reload all those apps again. So like, why don't like it's you can do it the other way around too, but that's nitpicking, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the bigger problem with Windows in and of itself, which, I mean, like, that's the problem here, right? Like, full screen experience isn't gonna, that's just throwing a new, putting the lipstick on the pig, right? Like,
Yeah.
Windows is just, you're gonna have to overhaul Windows for it to be any better. Like, that's the only thing, which maybe this is dipping toes in the water towards that direction.
Windows
I don't know,
12.
but
Windows 12.
Bring back
yeah,
Windows 8.
maybe Windows
Bring back
12 will
Metro.
actually be good, and like, we'll see that actual like be good. But
they're gonna give us back the Windows 8 Metro tiles. That's what they're gonna give us back. Go ahead.
Oh boy. But back to what Zach was saying, that's where I understand where they're coming from and where it's going to be so complicated, because at the end of the day, if there's one thing that at least we can give credit to that solution, is that you still retain the ability to have something like anti-cheat software. And Windows at the end of the day is an operating system that is based on user experience. And so it's normal when you load the regular Windows that it's almost like there's a bat file, for those who know, like a script that loads as it would when you load Windows. But then how do you define what to shut when you're going back into that full screen experience where you have a user that could have interacted with the entire operating system in between? So I understand that this has got to be a challenge. And if they were to go more the Steam route, where you're basically running a kernel level app when you're being in that full screen, Steam big picture in that case, that would mean that like the entire protocol of operations would have to be different when you're there. So, man, that's asking for a lot. If we're being honest, that's asking for a lot. And chances are we would lose a lot of those benefits that we have right now with Xbox full screen. For me personally, I think one thing they really need to improve on, and maybe you guys will agree, maybe you won't, but at the very least, because I appreciate the 2 gigabytes something that we get. I appreciate, the convenience of having less telemetry. Now, they say no telemetry. I don't necessarily believe that, but at least less telemetry. At least make the UI better. Like, make the UI experience better. I feel like that would go further than trying to like completely redefine what it is, because I like conceptually, I like what they're trying to achieve. I just feel like you go into big picture mode and you have this very console-like experience that you don't need any skills navigating a PC to understand what you're doing in there and just be comfortable with the UI. I feel like the Xbox full screen experience is not quite there. They just took the Windows Store, and that's essentially what it is.
Yeah, but let me add my apps that I download on the Windows Store. Like, let me pin those and use them in full screen.
Another
Like,
advantage to Steam, like
ugh.
I guess you can have your Steam library and your Epic library added in there, but like Steam has that add non-Steam thing that ultimately you can do whatever you want. You
Yeah.
don't have that yet with the full screen experience. So yeah,
It's a good starting point, but
Yeah.
it's a starting point. Like, that's where we're at.
very much so.
I think those are great points and very fair takes. And also, what I heard from Clef was make UI great again. That's what I heard. Make it make sense, people. That said, let's go into a little bit of our tinfoil hat territory. When I was installing the Xbox full screen experience on my laptop, I had to go in about roundabout way. And if any of you have tried this out on your non Xbox Ally device, you'll know what I mean. You had to like install a bunch of like different tools and stuff like that. And I don't have any confirmation, but this is the tinfoil hat thing. I'm pretty sure this is because it is using some kind of device ID check, right? And while I would hope Microsoft would never go to the point where when you go to install Xbox full screen experience on a Legion Go 2, they don't disable the telemetry, it's very much within their power to do so. That's what I'll say. I'm not asking you all to, wear the same suit or get under this, aluminum foil umbrella.
Oh, I'm happy to.
I'm
I'm happy
sure-
to. Give me
But-
my hat. Where's my hat? No, but
Yeah. Zach is preparing an order for those. But
like,
let's talk. But I want to. But go
can
ahead.
I add a little something
Yeah,
super
yeah.
quick? It would make sense though, because it is a partnership after all, right? You have
Mhm.
ASUS and Microsoft, and they can use that as a way to say you're guaranteed to have the best performance from that chip on that device, because it is a partnership. So if that's the mindset or the approach, the direction that they could eventually go with, honestly, I wouldn't blame them. I'll be honest, I wouldn't blame them, because at the end of the day, making an ROG, an Xbox device, needs to have some meaning. I hate that, and I'm sure we'll get into that, but I hate that it seems to not hold any value when originally, when it was presented, it was like, oh, it's Xbox, and it's ASUS. Oh, now all of a sudden, all that holds no weight whatsoever. Like, yeah.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are an old, as old as me or older, and you're a '90s wrestling fan, this is the corporate Clef, ladies and gentlemen. So
Clef McMahon.
oh no. Okay, so let's talk. Yeah, I want to go down this tinfoil hat route a little bit further. Xbox has come out and said, at least as far as I know, for this recording, that the Xbox is not over. They're already developing the next Xbox console. Now, obviously, it's easy to just say that. We've also got speculation about like the next PS6 and a PS6 handheld, which, let's be real, people are dreaming if they're thinking this is a 4090 and a handheld. Like, give me some of that copium too, please. But like, what do you think? Is this just a charade? Is this what Clef was talking about? Just get yourself in the news, like just to get people's hopes up. Like they probably realistically don't have any plans or whatever. What do you think, Clef? You're getting under this umbrella too.
Well, because you mentioned it, but the viewers probably don't know what I said, because that was before the recording. Because we were talking about the Microsoft saying that's what we're going to, right? The Microsoft saying that the price.
Oh, that's after this.
Oh, that's
Oh,
after.
sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
No. This is about the next Xbox console. If there's going to be one,
Oh.
if it's another Xbox
Man.
Ally X2, X360.
Brain is not braining today. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, okay. Personally, I think this is just this is a big change for Microsoft. This is a big change for Xbox gamers, and Xbox gamers as much of a dying crowd that it is. Oh, shots fired! But no, like, it is still a very loyal and up in arms, ready to fight for their brand kind of community. And with that in mind, right now, I think Microsoft is just stepping on eggshells. They know that they need to tread carefully. I don't trust that there is another device, or if there is, like, the thing is, you can say that today, and whatever it has to mean whenever it's important to mean it then is going to be what it is. And what I mean by that is, oh, there's another Xbox device coming. Yeah, sure. And by then, in say 2026 or 27, when there's a new Xbox device, it's just like the Rogue Ally X, ROG, ASUS, Xbox Ally, whatever it is, that freaking name. Where it's just another collaboration with a maker of laptops or PCs that, it's who's to say, right? Because I feel like I'm having a hard time understanding why Xbox and Microsoft would just give back all that whole Xbox licensing to their gamers. They have openly said themselves that this is not where the money is for them anymore. And you don't have to know a whole lot about that industry to know that, yeah, no wonder, like, you haven't catered to that audience in so long, like, and your games are all on Game Pass. Why would they try to, I don't know. I just, for me, it makes no sense. I don't understand how or why they would, other than to try to appease their loyal customers. But at the end of the day, they still increase the price of Game Pass. They're not your friend. They're here to make money. And I don't see them making money if they really do that. We'll see.
Yeah, it's just like those survival shows, right? Like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win. Nelly, are they here to win?
Well, like, even the Game Pass that they gave us with the device, like, they were giving us Ultimate before. Why are you giving us a like crappier version? And I had mentioned that like my version expired, but I was able to renew at the same time, and so it extended with Ultimate, but it cut me in half for time. So instead of 3 months, it's like a month and a half extended of Ultimate for free. So if you already have that in place, it just like tacks on and just does the math on what the value is on that. But like, why wouldn't they give us like a bigger pass? Like, why wouldn't they give us a bigger Game Pass with this specific Xbox device? You're promoting it as an Xbox device. You have all the other allies and Legion Goes that have come before where you've given 3 months of Ultimate. You give a worse package with your Xbox device, and then you want us to stay in this Xbox platform. Like, why wouldn't you just give us like 6 months, a year, and just say, hey, like, this is your new Xbox. Like, get into it, get into the games. You've got enough time in there to really enjoy all the premium content that's coming out. You've got Black Ops 7 that's going to come out. It's going to be great. Like, it's just, and stick with us for that year while we keep upgrading this full screen experience and making things better for you. Like, why wouldn't they do that or leverage that in this device? Like, I don't understand. And then to go to like the console piece, like, they're making it so wishy-washy as to what the definition is of an Xbox. And why would you do that if you're like, because now you can change the narrative. Well, like, now this is an Xbox, and now this is an Xbox, and then this is an Xbox. Hey, your PlayStation 5, that's an Xbox. And you're like, what? But it says PlayStation on it. No, that's an Xbox. Like, oh, okay. Okay. Like, I don't know.
I think that was a very fair little rant, and it's a great point that you mentioned about their marketing and being wishy-washy about that. Yeah, like, and what Clef was saying about like a collaboration. I mean, I don't know, Clef, or I don't know, Zach. Do you think like, yeah, we're just gonna see an Xbox Red Magic Astra as their next, streaming device? Is that going to be an Xbox now?
It's going to be the Xbox Trim UI Brick.
Oof.
No, yeah, we're very well reaching. If everything's an Xbox, then nothing's an Xbox territory here. I mean, they say they're going to put out another console. There was rumors of a handheld. The console I can see still coming to fruition for one more generation. I mean, this has the vibes of that meme, though, of like, like Phil and Sarah, they're the boss saying, well, we're going to get it done somehow. And then everybody below them's like dreading knowing that they're the somehow. But like everybody's just scrambling, I think, trying to figure it out at this point. Like, I think they say they're going to do it, but they probably have no idea what they're doing right now at this point. And then this collaboration at this point looks like a marriage of convenience, and the divorce is going to be messy. It's not going to end amicably at this point, I don't think. And it's going to do one of two things. Microsoft's going to say, okay, well, maybe we will actually make our own, Xbox OS handheld. That way we can kind of bury this thing, or they'll just, straight up, try to forget it ever existed, like Chris Benoit, to bring back your wrestling references.
Oh wow, you went there.
You
They're
know,
gonna give the LAX the Chris Benoit treatment and
Oh,
just
no.
act like it never existed.
oh no. Could you
Oh,
not have
wow.
at least said like the Connect? Could you not have said like the
Oh.
Connect? Oh,
This
no.
got dark.
Yeah. We okay. Well. Okay. So let's do this. Let's do this. now,
Sorry,
'cause
you might have to edit this out later.
No, I'm not editing nothing. That's way too much work. I am actually going to ask you to go even darker. Let's talk about the recent article that Clef was alluding to that we talked about just very briefly before the recording. And that is that those who are unhappy with the pricing of the Xbox Ally X, well, Microsoft has allegedly come out and stated, you know what? That was all ASUS. That was their decision. What do you think?
Bus, ASUS. Also, anybody that's complaining about the price, like, I'm gonna play this game, like, if you're broke, just say that, to quote that guy. Like, anybody complaining about the price is like people that have no idea what the market looks like right now. Like, I mean, obviously we complain about the price a little, but it's more so we just suggest alternatives, like, hey, buy something pretty much the same, just used for cheaper. But like, looking at everything else in this stack, your 285Vs and your HX 370s and everything else like that, like, this is still the cheapest thing in this generation of chips for handhelds. So like, the rest of us, like, I can say, yeah, that's the cheapest thing for this. I'm still not going to buy it just because I already have something good enough, and $1,000 isn't worth it for, 30-40% for me, if that. But, like, anybody complaining about the price probably shouldn't be. And then Microsoft throwing ASUS under the bus is just completely expected at this point. Like, of course. I mean, what do you expect? Like, of course it's their fault. I mean, well, who are we? We don't know anything about these handhelds.
All right.
They're the ones that made it.
Nelly, is this what Zach was alluding to? Is this the start of the divorce already?
This just in: ASUS announces that Microsoft is the ones who came out with the Xbox Ally White.
Wow.
They didn't even go on the honeymoon. We didn't even get a honeymoon
around.
phase. Like, it
that
was
was
just
their idea.
marriage. This was a courthouse marriage. They just went home and then tried to live life, and
Yep.
now they're already sleeping in separate beds.
They're like, listen, guys, we wanted to put at least another Z1 in there, but Phil was like, no, dog, that's not okay.
Yeah. Daddy Phil's about to go get the milk and cigarettes and not come home.
Hot damn.
Zach's going real dark. Help us go darker, Clef.
I mean, I don't know that I can go darker, but I know one thing. There needs to be multiple times during this episode where Henstern has a chef hat on his head, and then it goes up in smoke and comes back every 100 times. Like, so dark. But then you cooked a lot this episode, my guy. Okay. Pricing. Look, I think I'm going to be very direct and very harsh here. I think we are fools if we think for a second that this is not calculated. If we think for a second that Microsoft really went out public and ASUS was not aware of what they were going to do. Impossible. These companies are after money, and they know how to print money. And here's how you print more money when you have this momentum. You keep that momentum going. That's all there is to it. Now, that doesn't mean that it is false. I am happy to believe that what Microsoft has said is the truth. But to think that it is not calculated to speak the truth for everyone to see, come on now. Guaranteed this is by design. This is on purpose. They know exactly what they're doing. They're just saying it so that we suddenly have The Verge, so that we suddenly have Video Card, so that we have all those publications that grabs the news, just like if it was Johnny Somali in whatever country doing whatever. It's the exact same thing. It's just the new thing that everyone will hold on to, make content, make articles. It's the best press is free press, and that's what it is. But I think ultimately we could put a spin on this and be like, oh yeah, Microsoft, ASUS decided the price. Why did you not offer a better deal to ASUS then? Why did you not subsidize enough so that they feel like they don't have to do that? It's easy to like control the narrative, but at the end of the day, that's the question I want to raise. How about you, Microsoft? What did you do to give us that price? Because you can put ASUS under the bus, which again I believe is calculated, but at the end of the day, that's the question that I want to ask. What have you done, Microsoft? Because at the end of the day, this is your branding, this is your legacy of I don't know how many years that you decided to partner with ASUS. Because for the gamers, okay, what are you doing for us right now? Nothing.
Yeah, well, they put a
They put
library button
Copilot
on
in it.
us. That's
Oh.
the library button. I blame Microsoft for that.
Fair.
It's not
So, yeah.
only that though, Nelly. Exactly what you said earlier. They decided to pull back on the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. That's what they
Yeah.
decided. They're like, hey,
Honestly.
ASUS, that sounds like a good price to us. We're gonna include not the Xbox
Yeah,
Ultimate.
like
Pass.
honestly, that's what they didn't do. Like that, those are all things that they didn't do. Like, what did you do as part of this partnership?
Oh, they increased
And
Game Pass. That's what they did. Oops.
yeah, like honestly, they just made it worse. They made it worse.
As if it's not calculated.
Thanks, I hate
Yeah.
it.
It's those things like and for those who've been watching multiple of this episodes, you might have felt anger coming from me. A little bit of an apology, but I just feel like I'm tired of being taken for stupid. I think we should all be, and that's exactly what they're doing. And it's insulting to my intelligence, our intelligence.
Well, in shitification aside, I want to finish this episode by asking you about things that are on a little bit more of a positive note. What you playing now? What you working on? Nelly, can I start with you?
Yeah, you can start with me because like Clef needs a moment to just like just
We need to-
reset.
We need
He's
like an
gotta-
ice cube put on top.
He's in desktop mode and it's like you want to go back to full screen mode and he's got to
need-
push that reset button.
Yeah,
It's just like
Oh man.
yeah.
Yeah, give me that loading swirl.
Yeah, give me that loading swirl. Okay, I tried playing Silksong, but like you all know, I am not good at platformers. I am terrible at platformers. I made it maybe like 15 minutes to like this first little boss thing, and I died like 6 times. I'm like, nope, I can't play this game. I uninstalled. I'm like, not playing Silksong. So sorry, Game Pass. Back to Steam Big Picture, back to Expedition 33 and Spider-Man 2. Like that's what I'm back in on now that I have this Xbox Ally X to play with, which honestly, I do enjoy playing with it, but I don't recommend it if you have a good device already. But it is fun to play with.
Didn't you also just pick up Borderlands 4?
I did pick up Borderlands 4. Yeah, I actually played it a little bit. I tried playing it with the joysticks, instead of keyboard and mouse. And I'm very bad at that too. Died many, many times. I don't know how the keys are mapped for the anyways.
And then you kept pressing the library button.
I
right?
kept pressing the library because I'm trying to pause and figure out which buttons are what. It's going back to the library. I'm like, this library button will be the end of me.
Yep.
Like honestly, it's like a rage button at
We
this
need
point.
We need a like short video clip of Phil saying, that's a feature, not a bug. That's what we need, Phil saying.
It's not a feature. Let me remap this stupid button.
What about you, Clef? What you doing?
I've been playing a lot of Pokemon ZA. I'm hooked. I know it's a game that is dividing a lot of people right now, but I'm having a blast. I love what they've done with the game. Like there's a whole, I haven't played Arceus, so maybe I'm talking about things that are already have been seen in the franchise, but that's this whole active battle kind of system with your skills, I think is great. The online is also fun, easy to pick up, not too, it can definitely get sweaty, but getting those ranks to get like those season exclusive stuff is not that hard. It took me like 30 minutes. And while I'm on the topic, I created an entire new save to get a Pokemon, one of the starters, to trade to myself using some friends I have online, whatever. And I played 6 hours to get that stone, that evolution stone, mega evolution stone. Don't do that. If you're watching and you were thinking of doing the same, don't do that because you cannot transfer with the stone. I didn't know. So I wasted 6 hours of my time trying to grind that Pokemon. Yeah, I was angry.
What did you pick as a starter though? That's what I really want to know.
My initial starter was Tepig, And
Mhm.
then after that, I got Chikorita, and then the whole thing that I did with the stone was Totodile.
Yeah.
But
Tepig is
Tepig-
what I picked too. But was that a mistake? You're making me think that it was a mistake.
No, I'm happy he's doing good online as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's good. I mean,
Look, I
I
want the
like all the
fire pig.
starters, but I guess one thing for sure is, yeah, I don't want to spoil the game, but yeah, there's something more than just the Pokemon that
Mhm.
even if you try to trade, you won't have. So make sure you pick the one that you want down the
Okay.
road, just not in the moment.
It almost sounds like you're actually talking about handhelds with that statement and not actually about Pokemon. But you know what? If Nintendo turns out to be the good guy, wouldn't that be a crazy plot twist of this episode, right?
Mm.
What about you, Zach? What's on your radar? What you playing right now?
Well, I finally got through the prologue of Expedition 33 instead of just benchmarking it repeatedly.
Yes.
I haven't got too much further, but just been really busy.
Did you have like the buckets full of tears next to you? Is that why you couldn't
Oh,
continue?
yes. I had to
You wanted to
figure out where
relive
to
that
put all
moment
those.
over and over and over.
My house was flooded. I had to get
Wow.
the insurance adjuster out here to get all the flood damage fixed. No,
Can you
Just
imagine
wait,
that?
there's
but
more
yeah.
to come.
Can you imagine
I've
that?
got- yeah,
nightmare,
right?
though? Can you imagine that nightmare, Nelly? Like Groundhog Day, but it's Expedition 33. Like, oh,
Yeah, right? And you're just like, it's just sad every
It's
day.
It's
You probably
perpetually sad.
just off yourself.
My
Yeah.
little emo heart is just all about it, so I'll take it. But yeah, I've got through that. I started Persona 5 Gotcha, aka
Mhm.
Persona 5 X. Apparently the X is a curse. We should probably stop putting X's on stuff. It seems all right at first, but yeah, I haven't really got the gotcha whatever pay to win crap thrown at me yet, so maybe my tone will sour lately. Give it a couple weeks and then ask me again and I'll be like, this stupid game.
That's when you're gonna have to go and ask Clef to play Destiny Rising with him. Yeah, so then you channel your rage in a different direction. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Wait, how about you? What
Yeah,
have you been
Gigi, what
playing?
have you been playing?
Jeez.
I don't play any games. I just like
Wow.
benchmark stuff. Yeah,
Just
I'm
sworn I saw you playing
Dragon
Dragon Ball
Ball
Z.
FighterZ.
yeah,
He's
I
an
am.
imposter.
Yeah, I am still playing that game a little bit. It's just not as fun like playing by yourself or playing even all these chads online when you're like a filthy casual. So if that is a game that any of you play online, I know it's an old game, but drop by Discord. Let's queue up for a match and we can maybe check out one of our game nights that we got. It's not going to be streamed on the channel or anything like that right now, but it's just going to be our community Discord thing to get everybody kind of engaged. So I know I haven't said it yet, and so I've actually been a bad host myself. If you are interested in handhelds, you are interested in pitchforking or just praising whatever device or game that you're playing, make sure that you drop by Discord and just shoot the breeze with us as well. So that's all I got for today. Thank you for tuning in with me and needing to cool off. I think I need a shower after this episode. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. See you later.